I'm joined by the British Army veteran of 16 years, Andrew Cook. And Cookie claims he was evicted by the Ministry of Defence to make way for an Afghan family. Welcome to the show, Cookie. You're at the thick end of this. This impacted on your life. Tell us what happened.
Evening, Martin. Yes, thank you very much. Rewind to 2023. I was medically discharged. It was the right thing to do. Part of that process, you get a whole bunch of resettlement packages to transition from military life to civilian life. One of those packages is retention to retain your service family accommodation. Now, it is caveated, and it does say it is at the discretion of the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. However, at the time, if we go back, we were in the midst of the financial crisis. Interest rates through the roof, so I decided that would really support and help me. I applied in May of 23 and it was rejected. Fast forward then to September 23 and suddenly a large quantity of Afghan nationals suddenly turn up on the estate and occupy a large quantity of the houses that weren't occupied, which then led me to being out, moving over at Christmas time with my family, and any options of support gone.
Cookie, I've been hearing of instances like this for the past couple of years now, and it suddenly becomes obvious why we couldn't get any information from the MOD about this, because there was this super injunction. It prohibited anything from getting out there, and so the anecdotal evidence was in the background, the evidence was building, and the theory on the ground was that British veterans were being kicked out of their digs to make way for Afghani nationals. Now we know that that's true. We don't know how big this scandal is. We don't know how many people were impacted. We don't know the cost. But we do know is that it directly impacted your life.
Absolutely, it did as well. And I sent an email to the local MP, Mr. Kruger, at the time, asking these questions on two parts. One, from my selfish perspective of when I needed the help and support of leaving the army and becoming a civilian, it was rejected. Now, at the time, I thought it was for service reasons, and I completely accepted that as always. The needs of the service come first. Always accept that. However, when it's then for something else and it's covered up, we don't know. Mr. Kruger then didn't reply to me until after that the problem had gone, and I was basically then out of the house. So when he did reply, and it was a very loose reply of give me a call at some point, the problem was my problem issue, the selfish problem had gone. But I did also raise to him as well the other fact of going at the time, none of us on the estate were notified that the Afghan nationals were coming in. There was no plan to embed, no plan to integrate. One day it was just service personnel. The next day was now groups of males, females and children, but just hanging around the streets. We didn't know where they come from. It wasn't to walk around then find, because they had food stations as well. They were brought food. They go, right, okay, that part of the estate is now taken, all for Afghan nationals. We didn't know if there was going to be an increased presence of security. Again, I myself, I saw 7 tours of Afghanistan. A lot of blue on green, green on green was going on over there. There's all these questions now that were just not communicated, not answered. And it still seems today there is no plan to integrate and embed. So I know they're talking hundreds of millions. It's going to be in the billions, because it's going to take all the unemployment still. They're not paying the rents. There's going to be more houses. There's no jobs. They're not bringing any rents. There's the hospitals, the doctors, the dentists. Accumulate all these things, we're talking billions.